Smith System Keys 1, 2, and 3 discussed at length the various ways in which good eye movement and proper timing and distance can improve your visibility and help you make sound decisions on the road. In this presentation, we'll expand on those concepts with the fourth piece of the Smith System Safe Driving Program. Key 4, leave yourself an out. This key is all about learning to create space, or as we call it, a space cushion, between your vehicle and everything and everyone else on the road so you can better avoid collisions. Creating a space cushion around your vehicle provides you with multiple benefits when it comes to staying safe from collisions. The first of which is, space is your way out of trouble. That's why we call this key, leave yourself an out. Put another way, you might think of space as your window of opportunity to act when expected or unexpected traffic problems present themselves. Also, space increases your visibility by putting you in a position where there are fewer objects to block your view or demand your attention. Not only do you have increased opportunity to act when you have sufficient space, you have less to worry about, which further increases your ability to make good decisions. Unfortunately, though, and as you'll see moving forward, sometimes space isn't a commodity that other drivers give up so easily. Drivers tend to travel in packs. This is something you probably observed firsthand. For example, you've likely seen drivers on the highway cluster around a slower moving vehicle like a truck, and all trying to pass at a high rate of speed without giving each other enough space. No one can deny the pack mentality that you see with city driving, where traffic is often bumper to bumper, or as a result of several vehicles all being stopped at a traffic light and then all released at once. Why does this occur? Primarily because it's natural behavior for us as humans. After all, clustering is an accepted social tendency in other areas of life, like in the office or a restaurant. It's a behavior that shows up on the road, too. What you need to remember, though, as you learn to break away from the pack, is that just because something is a natural behavior doesn't mean it's a safe behavior when you get behind the wheel. Now, before we talk about the individual techniques you can use to create a space around your vehicle, let's first discuss the overall art and science of creating that space, which we call space cushion driving. Space cushion driving refers to the techniques you must utilize in order to identify and align yourself with open space on the road. Some aspects of this include not traveling too closely within the driving packs that we previously discussed, and pacing yourself as you come to or take off from intersections that have traffic signals so that you can avoid coming to a full stop. The ultimate goal behind these techniques, as we'll discuss moving forward, is to create space on every side of your vehicle, including the front, the sides, and the back. The most important space that you can have when driving is the space in front of the vehicle, and extra visibility that you can create by keeping some distance between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead of you. This space is also sometimes referred to as following distance. And as we stated in Key 2, get the big picture, Smith's system recommends a minimum following distance of 4 seconds. To obtain space on the sides and in the rear of your vehicle, continuously adjust your speed and position. By doing so, you can avoid traffic clusters and tailgaters. Also, learn to recognize and align yourself with pockets of space. Finally, choose to drive in what we call the lane of least resistance, which is our next topic of discussion. As long as it doesn't involve breaking any rules of the road, it's always a good idea to find and move your vehicle into the lane of least resistance. What is the lane of least resistance? It's the lane that provides the least potential for conflict while also providing the best visibility. Additionally, avoid lane loyalty, the common tendency to stay in a certain lane because of habit. Instead, constantly evaluate your traffic position. Look for the lane of least resistance and move safely into it. While it's best to have space on all sides of your vehicle as you drive, sometimes traffic conditions make it almost impossible to obtain a full 4-sided space cushion. So what do? When this occurs, change your focus to keeping your front and at least one side open if possible. Obtaining a space cushion is also important when you stop your vehicle in traffic. When stopping behind other vehicles, leave about a car length of room in front of your vehicle. for trucks and other large vehicles allows slightly more distance. This space will help you to avoid hitting the vehicle in front of you if you were to be struck from the rear. It also buffers you against having to back up your vehicle if the car in front of you should become disabled for any reason. Also notice how some drivers choose to crowd the crosswalk when they stop. If hit from the rear, they would very likely be thrust into the intersection. Once propelled out there, this vehicle could have another very serious collision with the vehicle moving through the intersection. We suggest leaving about a car length of space here too. It should look like this. Okay, let's look at how having a good space cushion around your vehicle can simplify the jobs of seeing and decision making as you drive. As you watch this next screen, you'll notice that images will appear, and they will do so at a faster pace as time moves forward. See if you can scan and comprehend these objects as quickly as they become visible. You may notice that you're having trouble keeping up. Complicated traffic environments can be like this, forcing you to visually process a large amount of information quickly. It can become overwhelming. If you're responsible for keeping track of too many moving objects and changing situations, you can overlook important information. Now, as we slow the pace of the changing objects, viewing them becomes easier and your observations more accurate. You can also create this effect, this same slowing of pace in traffic when using good vehicle placement. Now that we've learned how to leave yourself an out, it's time to review the benefits of this fourth of our 5 Smith System keys. First, leaving yourself an out gives you a margin of error and time to make logical decisions that you wouldn't otherwise have. Next, with more cushioning, you also have more protection against errors made by other drivers. Finally, you can reduce stress while driving by having time to take more in visually. Now that you know more about key 4, leave yourself an out, you should be able to define space cushion driving, define the lane of least resistance, and explain how leave yourself an out ties into the first 3 Smith System keys by being an extension of the time-based visual techniques included as a part of those keys. Before moving forward, if you don't recall any of this information, please feel free to review this segment at any time.